All right, so are you ready to dive into like a real-life celebrity puzzle?
Oh, yeah. Always up for a good mystery.
Okay, so you know Sean Diddy Combs.
Of course, who doesn't?
Well, there's this lawsuit against him, and it mentions this mysterious celebrity B.
I've heard about this.
Right, and get this. A YouTuber named BJ Investigates thinks celebrity B is JenniferLopez.
Whoa, that's a pretty bold claim.
Isn't it? It's like a Hollywood thriller, you know?
Definitely has that vibe.
So we're gonna like unpack all of this, you and me, right here.
Sounds good to me.
We'll look at the lawsuit, but don't worry, no legal jargon here.
Appreciate that.
And we'll really break down what this BJ Investigates guy is saying and the evidence he's using.
Yeah, gotta examine that evidence.
Oh, and we can't forget about J-Lo and Diddy's history, right?
Their past relationship is a big part of this whole thing.
For sure, so we'll get into that too. But here's what I'm wondering. Does their past relationship automatically mean J-Lo's involved in this lawsuit?
That's the question, isn't it? It's like everyone's jumping to conclusions.
I know, right? They haven't been a couple in ages.
Exactly. And that's why we got to be careful about it, assuming things.
So what's BJ Investigates basing all this on?
Well, he's mainly using what we call circumstantial evidence. Like he points out, they dated from like 1999 to 2001.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. They were everywhere back then.
Right. Always in the spotlight. And BJ Investigates also talks about J-Lo's loyalty.
So he's suggesting she might have helped Diddy out because of that.
That's his theory. But the question is, does any of this actually link J-Lo to the lawsuit?
So what would we need to see to go beyond just speculation?
Well, direct evidence would be key, like financial records showing transactions between them.
Oh, so like a money trail.
Exactly. Or emails discussing the lawsuit.
Okay, I see.
Even witness statements putting J-Lo at like meetings or events connected to the case.
So basically someone saying, yep, I saw her there.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Circumstantial evidence is interesting, but it can be interpreted in different ways.
Yeah, it's not a smoking gun.
We need something more concrete.
Okay, this is what blows my mind, though. BJ Investigates video has millions of views already.
Wow.
And hashtag #JusticeForCombs is trending like crazy.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So it seems a lot of people are already convinced. Does that worry you?
It does make you think about the power of social media, you know?
Right. It can shape how people see things even without hard facts.
It's like, this case is a perfect example.
Yeah.
We see bits and pieces of information often taken out of context, and suddenly everyone's an expert.
Yeah, drawing conclusions without all the pieces. It's kind of scary.
And you see certain tweets and comments gaining traction. Like there's this one I saw with thousands of retweets. It shows a photo of J-Lo and Diddy from way back when with the caption, "They were inseparable. She had to be involved."
But that's not evidence, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a compelling narrative, but it's not proof.
This is why I think media literacy is so crucial these days.
Couldn't agree more. We got to question what we see online, consider the source, and look for real evidence before forming opinions.
This is where I start to get worried. What if J-Lo has nothing to do with this lawsuit, and people are already forming these opinions about her?
It's a real danger, especially with social media.
Her reputation could be tarnished so quickly.
Even if she's totally innocent, it could have a lasting impact on her career and her public image.
It's just not right.
Yeah, it's like being judged before you even get a chance to defend yourself.
And it's J-Lo we're talking about. She's worked so hard to build this image,
A strong, independent woman.
Exactly. Could this whole thing, this cloud of suspicion, really hurt her, even if she's innocent?
I think there's a definite risk,
How so?
Well, brands are built on trust and perception.
Right. Makes sense.
So if a big chunk of the public starts associating J-Lo with this lawsuit, with potential wrongdoing,
It could damage that trust.
regardless of what happens in the actual case.
It's like the court of public opinion is way faster than the real courts.
Oh, that's a great way to put it. The court of public opinion is all about emotion and quick judgments.
And it's way harder to appeal a verdict there.
Exactly. And remember, even if J-Lo is never officially named in the lawsuit,
The association alone could still hurt her.
it's a PR nightmare no matter how you slice it.
So what's she supposed to do? Does she just stay quiet?
I mean, she could hope it all blows over.
Well, wouldn't that make people think she's guilty?
It's a tough call. A strong denial could backfire if more evidence comes out later.
Oh, what a mess.
It really is a delicate balancing act.
Okay, let's play devil's advocate for a minute.
Okay.
Let's say BJ Investigates is right and J-Lo is celebrity B.
Hypothetically speaking, of course.
What kind of legal trouble could she be facing?
It's tough to say without knowing the specifics,
Like how celebrity B was supposedly involved.
Right. But depending on the nature of the lawsuit, the accusations she could face anything from civil liability to even criminal charges.
Whoa, criminal charges.
That's serious. It all depends on the details. We're talking about a spectrum here.
Okay, so on one end, it could be something minor,
Like a breach of contract, maybe.
and on the other end,
Something much more serious with way bigger consequences.
this whole thing has got me thinking about the music industry in general.
How so?
We see these celebrities living these glamorous lives, right?
The parties, the fame, the fortune.
But is there a darker side to it all?
I think it's a valid question.
Yeah.
This lawsuit and all the speculation around it definitely makes you wonder.
Like, are there more things going on behind the scenes that we don't know about?
It reminds us that the entertainment industry isn't immune to problems.
Like what?
Power imbalances, shady business deals, that kind of stuff.
The pressure to protect reputations at all costs.
Exactly.
You mentioned power imbalances.
Yeah,
I can definitely see how those could be a factor here.
especially with the level of fame and influence we're talking about.
It's like a whole different world.
Think about the relationships between the artists, their management teams, record labels, even the media.
It's a lot of moving parts.
And everyone's trying to control the narrative, keep things under wraps.
And sometimes that leads to bad decisions.
It's like what we were discussing earlier with social media.
The pressure to manage the story.
It's just magnified when you're dealing with huge celebrities.
And the stakes are so high.
Careers, reputations, millions of dollars.
It's intense.
A high-pressure environment that can push people to make choices they wouldn't normally make.
This is a lot to take in. It feels like this deep dive has uncovered a whole lot more than we expected.
We started with a celebrity mystery, and now we're talking about the inner workings of the music industry.
It's a bit overwhelming, honestly.
It's complex. There's no doubt about that. And the truth is, we might never know the full story.
Even if JLo is Celebrity B, will anyone confirm it?
It's possible that settlements, NDAs, and careful PR strategies will keep a lot of the information hidden.
You mean we might never get to the bottom of this?
It happens sometimes.
Huh.
Even with all the information out there, the real story can stay buried.
Especially when powerful people want to keep things quiet.
That's the reality.
Well, this has been a real eye-opener. It started with this celebrity puzzle, but it's made me think about the bigger picture.
The forces at play behind the scenes.
The power dynamics, the pressure to maintain a certain image.
Yeah.
It's unsettling.
And I think that's the key takeaway here.
Yeah.
We can't just take entertainment news at face value. There are real consequences, ethical dilemmas, and human stories behind these headlines.
We started wondering if JLo was Celebrity B, but now I'm wondering something else.
What's that?
What happens to the music industry if these kinds of allegations keep popping up?
If these whispers of wrongdoing become the norm,
Can the industry survive if the public loses trust?
it's a crucial question. The industry thrives on image and perception.
What happens if those are shattered? Yeah, it feels like we've stumbled onto something much bigger here.
I agree. It's not just about one lawsuit anymore.
It's like we're seeing this shift in how we view celebrities.
Oh, totally. We're not as quick to believe everything we see.
Not like we used to be.
Social media has definitely played a role in that.
How's
People are more aware of the whole machinery behind fame. You know,
the publicists, the lawyers, the spin doctors?
it's all out in the open now.
And that makes it harder to be starstruck.
For sure. When you see how the sausage is made, so to speak,
Right. It takes away some of the magic.
and then when these kinds of allegations come out,
It just feeds into that cynicism.
makes people wonder if anyone in the industry can be trusted.
It's like this whole system is built on shaky ground.
It does make you question things.
So what now? What happens next?
Well, it depends, I think, on how the public responds. If people keep demanding more accountability from the artists they support,
That could force the industry to change.
it's about using our voices as consumers.
So we're not just powerless bystanders.
Not at all. We have a say in this.
By choosing who we support.
Exactly. Our choices can drive change.
I like that. It's a hopeful message.
It is. It means we're not just along for the ride.
So as this whole Diddy lawsuit thing plays out, maybe the real question isn't who is Celebrity B.
Maybe it's bigger than that.
What kind of music industry do we want?
What values do we want to see reflected?
That's a great question for everyone to think about.
It goes beyond just this one case.
It's about the whole culture.
How we consume music, how we interact with celebrity.
And we've certainly covered a lot of ground today.
We sure have. It's been a fascinating discussion
I think we started with a simple question.
and ended up somewhere completely different.
That's what I love about these deep dives.
You never know where they'll take you.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll keep you updated on any big developments in the Diddy lawsuit.
Until then,
Stay curious, stay informed.
and keep asking those tough questions.
We'll see you on the next deep dive.